Namami Buddhang, my homage to the Buddha. In this video, I would like to bring you the facts that contained in Sihanadasutta, which is in silakkhanda vagga in deeghanikaya. Buddha preached this sutta when he was living in Ujjayina city at Kannakattala Deer Park. One day, a naked ascetic called Achelakassapa came to meet the Buddha at Kannakattala Deer Park in the monastery. He wanted to discuss about the rumor that has been prevalent all over India about the Buddha's attitudes towards austerity that is practiced by naked ascetics. Achelakassapa asked the Buddha, according to the rumor, Buddha disgraces all the austere ways of ascetics. He asked whether it is true or false. Then Buddha explained Achelakassapa about the ascetics, those who practice austerity of the time of the Buddha. Buddha says he knows there are some ascetics who practice austerity. They are to be born in heaven after their death. There are other kinds of ascetics. They practice their austerity and they are to be born in hell after their death. Ascetics, those who are to be born in heaven, they perform wholesome by practicing their austerities. Ascetics who are to be born in hell, they perform unwholesome by practicing the austerity. So I put forward my idea about austerity depending on wholesome and unwholesome. I appreciate the ascetics, those who are to be born in heaven as the result of practicing their austerity. So I don't agree with you that I disgrace all the austere ways of ascetics. Then Achelakassapa asks whether there is any practical way in your doctrine to have liberations. We practice austerity as ascetics to have liberation. The Buddha says, yes, In my doctrine, Eightfold Pathway is the practical way towards to Nibbana, the liberation. The Buddha mentions what is the Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, right view. Samma Sankappa, right concept. Samma Vacca, right speech. Samma Kammanta, right actions. Samma Ajiva, right way of living. Samma Vayama, right effort. Samma Sati, right mindfulness. Samma Samadhi, right concentrations. Then the Buddha explains Akela Kassapa. In this Eightfold Pathway, they are contained Adisila, Adichitta, Adipanya. Adisila is supreme morality. Adichitta is the supreme concentration. Adipanya means the supreme wisdom. And the Buddha explained how to be. The Buddha explains how a novice monk developed his morality, concentration and wisdom to achieve Nibbana by following this pathway. Buddha says, first the novice monk, he developed his confidence towards Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Then he observed minor precepts and developed his morality. Then he observed medium precepts and developed his morality. Then he observed supreme precepts and developed his supreme morality. Then he developed by practicing the Eightfold Pathway the restraint of 5 faculties. After developing the restraining of 5 faculties, he developed the mindfulness. How can he develop mindfulness? When he continues his postures, he does every activity with attention. When he takes food, he thinks of the purpose of taking foods. I take these foods to survive my body, not to play or enjoy my life. When he wears garments, he thinks, I wear this garment not to decorate my body, but uh, but for the safeguard of my body from mosquitoes and so on. In that way, the novice monk developed his mindfulness. After developing his mindfulness, then he develops his concentrations. He gets rid of the five hindrances of his mind: kamacchanda, vyapada, teenamidda, uddhacca kukkutta, vicikicca. He feels freedom, just like a prisoner after staying so many years in the prisons. He is rescued from the prison, and after his rescue scene, he feels happiness. When the person was going on an awkward road and comes to the village of prosperity, then he feels happiness. When the person succeeds his business after having a loan and after settling the loan, and when he is able to continue his business, he feels happiness. Like that, when the person is free from five hindrances, he feels happiness. Then he let his mind to develop concentrations. First, he developed his concentrations in the first absorptions: vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. Then the second absorptions: vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. Then the third absorptions: piti, sukha, ekaggata. Fourth absorption: upekkha, ekaggata. After developing the concentrations, he let his mind to develop perceptions: iddhivita, dibbasota, paranimmita, parachitta vijanana, asavakshekara jnana. In that way, he let his mind to develop his perception. After developing the perceptions, he can memorize his former birth, and he can know after the death where he is to be born. In that way, he developed the miraculous perceptions. He is able to perform miracles. In that way, he developed perceptions after having asavakshekara jnana. He is able to attain Nibbana. So Buddha explained in that way how to achieve Nibbana by practicing his Eightfold Pathway. And then the Buddha explained his abilities as a teacher. There is no any teacher is equal to the Buddha when solving the questions, when attending to the untamed persons, when explaining the doctrines, when having debates, arguments, and so on. Buddha explained his skills and abilities and his supremacy as triumphs in the dawn of lion roar. It is called Sihanadasutta. That is why this sutta is called Sihanadasutta. Then the Buddha explains one of the ascetics called Nibbodha, who came to the Buddha and discussed with the Buddha. After having the discussions, he took interest to be the Buddha's disciples, and he expressed his willingness to be the monks under the Buddha and to practice his pathway towards Nibbana. Kassapa was listening to the Buddha, and he said that I also want to be a monk under you. I take confidence in Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. I want to be a monk of higher ordained. Then the Buddha says, before to be a monk, you have to train in the probationary period of 4 months. After the probationary period, you can be a novice monk. Then after practicing your morality and restraint of your faculties, you can be a high ordinated monk. Then you can practice the Eightfold Pathway towards Nibbana. Kassapa, he trained in the 4 months as the probationary period under the Buddha. Then he became the Buddhist monk and the high ordinated monk. He practiced Tisikka, developed his morality, concentration and wisdom. He attained Nibbana. Within short period, he became one of the Arahant. Thank you for listening to me. Blessing of the triple gems be showered upon you.